Hello everyone, this is Maria from Maxifisio. I'm prepared for you today a Yin inspired yoga class. So I'm not going to be following all the rules for Yin nor all the names for Yin poses, which are slightly different. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to do longer holds in the postures, which is what characterizes Yin. Usually stay in the pose for a lot longer, so it allows deeper relaxation and can also help you to connect more with the breath. And by all means, it doesn't mean that it's easier. I actually find Yin very challenging, because it makes the pose a lot more intense. So I would suggest not to go 90% into the pose right at the beginning. So maybe just start going slowly into it, and as we are holding the pose, I can guide you through it. You can start going a bit deeper if your body is beginning to relax, and allowing a bit more movement. As always, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can always message me or let me know if you have any suggestions for any content or videos you would like to see. And if you are interested in any of my online classes, please visit my website maxifisio.com. I teach via Zoom every week, so you can always have a look and see if there's a class that interests you. So let's just get to it. We're going to start in sitting. Just going to get rid of my socks. It's a bit cold, so I was just trying to make sure my feet were not too cold, but let's get started. And of course, this class, if you have any props, like a bolster, a yoga belt, a block or brick, yeah, it's great. So I'll give you options, if you want to use them or not. You can start into simple cross leg or Sukhasana, which is one leg in front of the other. If you're more comfortable sitting on a bolster or block, that's fine too. And let's start with your palms facing up, resting on top of the knees. Just think of your spine, elongate the body, close your eyes if you can. Otherwise, just keep the eyes open, but just find a spot in front of you on the floor, so soft gaze. Okay. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, let go. Close your lips and continue inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. We're going to try to slow down the breath. So make your inhales and exhales a bit deeper, a bit longer. Try to feel your body, how your posture feels, how your breathing feels, how your mind feels. Let's try to set an intention for the class. Whether it's just a bit of time for yourself, a disconnect from your body, maybe just a bit of time to stretch, to move, maybe a bit of both. Whatever it is that you're hoping to get out of the practice, please set your mind for it. Continue working through your breath. We're going to try to activate our Ujjayi breath or Ujjayi pranayama. So on the inhale and the exhale, try to constrict the back of the throat. So the breath should become audible to you, not to others. So it's not very loud. But if you're not familiar with this, doesn't feel comfortable for whatever reason, just continue breathing in. And as you breathe out, think of activating a bit through your core and pelvic floor. So activating our Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. So the breath is active. Just take another full breath. Inhale. Exhale. If your eyes are closed, please slowly open them again. And let's just start warming up a little bit through the body. So we're going to take an inhale, take both arms up, palms facing one to another. Exhale, twist your body to the right. excuse me, take your left hand on top of the right knee, right hand behind you, sit up tall, look over your shoulder, inhale here, exhale. Inhale, come back to center, both palms facing in, bring your gaze to the middle, exhale, twist your body to the left. So this time, right hand on top of your left knee, left hand behind you, look over your shoulder, inhale here, exhale. Inhale, come back to center, exhale, let's side bend to the right. So take your right arm down, take the left arm up and over. Make sure the hip bones don't come up. You might need to drop, or you might be able, that's a better word, to drop on your forearm. Otherwise, just stay slightly up. If you can, look up towards your bicep. If your neck doesn't like this, please look forward or down. Maybe experiment with each position. Once you have a position that is better for you, inhale, exhale. Slowly return to the middle, inhale. Let's move to the other side. Sorry, I just need to move this a little bit away. And let's just side bend now to your left. So open up to the right side. For me, this is tighter, so you'll notice probably the same. One side feels better than the other. Don't allow, again, the hips to come up, especially on the right side. Drop to the forearm if you can. Otherwise, stay again slightly higher up. And look again, either up to the bicep, either forward or down. Find what's best for you. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, come back to center. Both arms up. Inhale. Release the arms down. Exhale. Change the cross of the legs, or again, if you were in Sukhasana, just the same, change. I'll show you this actually from the side. We're going to go into chest expansion arms. So link your fingers behind you. Sit up tall. Pull back. Connect the palms of your hands if you can. And then as you breathe out, fall forward. And as you fall forward, take the arms up to where they go. They might not be very high. Maybe you'll go a bit more than me. My arms are very stiff today, so I'm not going very far into it. Just continue traveling forward, keeping the sitting bones grounded. Inhale here. Exhale. Come back. And then change cross. So if you had before your left over the right thumb, now do the other side, which feels a bit less natural. Connect again the palms of your hands. Inhale, and let's repeat chest expansion. Exhale, which will feel slightly different. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, come back, release the hands. So now take, again, the arms in front of you, link your fingers again, and just come to face you again, very briefly. So we're just gonna reach the arms now, up, back, and let's repeat your side, bending to the right, look up to the bicep, inhale, exhale, back to center. Let's just go for the other side. Inhale, come back to center, bring the arms back in front of you, change again the lock of your fingers, so again swap to the position feels less natural. Let's repeat the same thing again. So relax your shoulders, begin to side bend to the right, look up if you can, otherwise change the gaze. You can look forward, down, exhale, inhale again, side bend, just changing directions, exhale, and release. Lovely. So let's just come on to 4-point kneeling for your cat and cow stretch. It's just adding a bit more movement to finish your warm-up. Hands below the shoulders. You can do this on your knuckles if you need to protect the wrist. Knees about hip width, and you can add a bit of padding under your knees if you need to. We're going to start moving, so breath to movement. Inhaling for cow, look forward. Exhale as you round. Let's repeat it again. Inhale, arch the spine, look forward. Exhale, round. Trying to feel the movement both directions, shoulders always relaxed. Trying to get a nice stretch through all of the spine. Inhale. And exhale. From here, we're going to drop to child's pose. Open the knees a little bit wider. bring your feet to touch. Wider than the hips, sorry. Feet to touch. And then extend the arms forward, drop your head down. So we're in Balasana. Fingertips reaching to the front. And let's stay here for 2 deep breaths. Connecting again with your Yahi Pranayama, or you can just simply think of Mula Bandha, Udiyani Bandha, pelvic floor and tummy, connecting through the exhale. Okay, let's come back to 4-point kneeling, tuck all 10 toes, and let's just come onto downward facing dog. So as we exhale, let's just gonna move a bit forward, sorry. We got more space, so exhale, drop the heels as much as you can. I'm not touching yet, it's my first downward dog of the day, so if it's the first one for you, you'll probably feel a bit stiff. Drop the chest, just think of lengthening through the spine, arms active, fingers reaching forward, and then begin to pedal the feet. Find a bit of movement here, release your neck. You can also move a little bit side to side, so rotating a bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Maybe bend and extend the knees. So you got all those options. You can do all of them, maybe just choose what you feel better with or more familiar with. And then come back onto a static dog. And then hold it here. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Alright, from here, we're gonna drop the knees down, and I'd like you to sit either on the heels, or you can sit on the bolster, or if you don't have a bolster, cushion, or a yoga block. So we're gonna think of your feet, if you can, in line with the hips, or maybe slightly knees in, slightly heels out. Lengthen the spine. Keep the arms resting onto the thighs. Soft gaze. Focus again onto the breath. We're going to be settling into, so we're on hero pose. We're going to try to be reclining a little bit. Might just need to move a bit forward on my mat. But I'll do that in a second. Right, some of you might be able to do this without sitting onto anything. I find this a little bit easier to start like this, especially if you know your quads, your thighs are tight, or if you've got tight knees as well. So let me just move a bit forward so I got more space for what I want to show you next. So we're going to start reclining ourselves. So begin to bring your fingertips back. So we'll start opening the front of the hips. And then just again, continue breathing here. So we're going to start doing longer holds. So as I say, don't want you to go 90% into the pose just yet. I'll be slowly offering you progression. So we'll be trying to get a little bit deeper into the pose. So if you're sitting into something, maybe try to take the support away. As I say there, if you can, knees slightly in, otherwise you can stay a bit more parallel if your knees are a bit sore. And then maybe begin to come down onto the forearms. Otherwise you stay with, what your body is allowing you today. To adjust myself a bit. Continue focusing on your breath, and if you notice your breath becomes shorter and you can lengthen the inhale and the exhale, then you need to back off and make the pose a bit easier. Okay. If you feel really open or you want to try to challenge it even though more, come all the way down. Reach one forearm over the other, so hand to opposite elbow on each side, and this is going to give you a bit of a back bend. So just be mindful of your lower back in case this is not very comfortable for you. And again, focus on the breath. If you prefer to close the eyes, that's fine, but don't let your mind wander. Stay present on the pose. Stay present with your body and your breath. I'm going to come up because this is a little bit too strong for me today. So again, stay on the position that's best for you. Just a bit longer. If you're here, you could also drop your head And relax your neck, only if your neck feels comfortable. 2 more breaths. Slowly, from whatever you are, make your way back up. Let's return to 4-point kneeling, and we're just going to extend a bit the knees to let a little bit of blood come back to the knees. So extend the right leg, tuck the toes of your right foot, push back, stretch be through the back of the leg. Good. And then the other side. So whenever we come up from, or getting out of the pose after the long hold, just do it slowly. Just be gentle with the body, because we've been there for a long time. You can feel a bit stiff. All right, so let's transition into sitting. And again, for this, depending on how your body is, you might need to be sitting again onto a bolster, a block, a cushion. Basically, we want to try to keep a nice lengthened spine. Think of like a 90-degree angle. If your hamstrings, hips are very tight, you'll tend to collapse. So that means that you need to bring something underneath the hip so you can keep your spine lengthened. We're going to go into Paschimottanasana, or your seated forward fold. So bring your legs to touch, flex the toes. Think of activating the quads. So compared to the previous pose, which was a bit of a back bend, this is a forward bend. We're going to balance the spine. This is a great place as well for a belt. So if you don't have a belt, you could use a TheraBand, a pair of tights, maybe something else, a scarf that you got at home. So I'll show you options to do it with and without. So if you got the belt or something similar, bring it around the ball of your feet, and then just use that to help you keep your feet flexed. And then from here, we're going to start just very gently leaning forward, but try to keep your back fairly straight. I don't want you to slouch. And then let's just start here. Okay, so for you might be here. If you don't want to use anything, or you don't have anything to hand, you can just simply, maybe your hands will be a bit higher, maybe here. Maybe you're able to reach the outside of the feet. Maybe with your peace fingers, middle fingers, you can grab also your big toes. I personally like grabbing the outside of my feet, but you got all those options. And again, as I say, it might be here for you to start with, and that's okay. So I want to folding forward too deep. Keep your breath going. And then maybe begin to bend the elbows as you start folding a little bit deeper. And think of your chest, the trunk, your torso coming down to the thighs, not your forehead going down. Which feels a bit different, yeah? When you fall forward from the torso, it feels completely different as if you fall forward from your head and your neck. Again, if you're using the belt, you would keep again the elbows bent. So it will look the same, but you're grabbing into the prop. Maybe begin to drop a bit lower. If you can, obviously, just again, try to keep your back fairly lengthened. It will be curving a little bit, but try again not to round it too much. And then maybe eventually relax your neck. But again, try not to think of your head going down. It's again your torso, your ribs coming down towards the thighs. Two more breaths. Slowly release, come back to sitting tall, arms up. Breathe out, release the arms down. Great. All right, so let's continue moving. Just cross the legs. Return to 4-point kneeling. And from 4-point kneeling back to downward facing dog. Okay, test yourself a bit on the dog. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, bring your left foot a bit more to the middle line. Inhale, take the right leg up to a 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring the right foot between both hands, slow lunge. Drop the knee. Relax the toes. Come on to crescent moon, Anjaneyasana. Palms facing in, open up. So again, there's a bit of a backward bend, but should be nice. Shouldn't be too intense. And let's exhale, take the hands down to the earth. Heel toe your right foot to the edge of the mat, maybe slightly out. Bring both hands to the inside. And now take the right hand to the right knee and then begin to open up the right knee. You'll see these better when I do the other side. I'm basically trying to pivot through the right foot. I'm going to look back so my hips will come a bit lower and then release. Yeah, so I'm basically doing this with my hand on the knee, allowing a bit of movement. It's going to open up a bit the right hip as I go deeper onto the left hip flexor stretch. And again, you can look back, you can look forward. Okay, let's see if we can hold it. So keep the hip a bit open, the right one. Continue breathing. Your foot might be slightly rotated, and that's fine. And then maybe let's start coming down into lizard pose, or this is called dragon pose in Yin. So come down into the forearms, maybe only one, maybe if it's too much, you can come up. You can relax your head. Keep focusing on your breath, make sure your inhale and exhale is still deep. Connect back to your Ujjayi Pranayama, or again your Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. And from here, I'd like you to bring your left forearm more horizontal if you're able to stay on the forearm. Take the right hand back to the knee like we were doing before. Otherwise, if you're up, you would come back to where we were before, yeah, from being here. I'll give you options again, yeah? We're gonna try to do a bit of a quadricep stretch. So you're gonna bend your left knee. You're gonna reach back for the foot from the outside and try to grab it. If this is too much, you can simply stay here. You might need to do it from more upright, which is a bit easier. I'm gonna try from lower down, but again, I'm just showing you options that you can try. And then try to again to keep looking back. You can maybe bend a little bit and release. If you prefer to look down, that's fine too. And then eventually try to find the point of the stretch that it's challenging, but that you're able to hold, keeping a nice steady breath. Try to connect again your mind. Remember your intention for the practice. Stay present. This is quite challenging, so it's the strongest stretch. So it's absolutely normal if you find this is, hard for the body. You can again back off the pose if you need to. Okay, one more breath. You're doing really well. Okay, you're grabbing your foot, release it slowly. Come back onto your hands and let's move from here onto pigeon or swan, which is called in Yin. Drop your right knee. Once your foot is just heel toe to the right foot to the left foot of to the left end of the mat, drop the right knee down. And again, options here. If you feel very stiff, you can place a block or maybe your bolster underneath the right hip. You can bring your foot closer to the hip. That's easier. If you have it more horizontal, it's harder. We're gonna start upright. So we're opening now the right glutes. Well, it's the same, yeah, left hip flexor, but it feels different. You're gonna feel a bit more the glutes compared to the position we were doing before. Shoulders away from the ears. If it starts getting a bit easier, you can always take the support away or try. I'm gonna try. I feel very stiff today, but I went for a run, so this is actually really nice after the run. It's giving me a good stretch, but it means that I'm a little bit tighter than normal. So, all right. So if that's going well, begin to come down into sleeping pigeon. Yeah, you're gonna drop one forearm over the other. Maybe drop your head, or you could add again a bit of support for your head. You can have a bit of a block there. Or you can again just simply drop all the way down. Keep breathing. Again, if your eyes are closed, stay present. Don't let your mind wander. Be present with your breath. Be present with the stretch in your body. One more breath. Okay, help yourself come up. And now, let's just adjust a bit our position. You're gonna keep I'm just moving back a bit, your right knee, right thigh, vertical, along with the mat. Now bring the other leg on top slowly. So we come onto, as we're gonna do cow face pose or shoelace pose in yin. This again might be a great place for you to sit on something if you feel your hips are not very open. Your knees might not look as close together, and that's fine. The more horizontal you bring your shins to the mat, the harder. The more you take the heels towards you, the easier. Try to find both sitting bones, Stay here for now. So I'll be showing you options to progress these. We're not going to be doing cow face arms. Just going to do the legs, which is this. Take the arms up, inhale. Palms facing in, exhale. Bring your arms a bit forward, fingertip touch. So keep your back again fairly straight like we did on Paschimottanasana or your seated forward fold earlier. And then perhaps begin to come a bit lower. And I'll give you options. You need to go to where it gives you the best stretch. You're going to feel a bit more your left glute now. Okay, maybe try to keep going. Maybe fold over completely. Just slowly begin to come back up. Bring your arms up, inhale, exhale, release the arms down. And then just slowly help yourself to get out of the pose. Try to come back to pigeon or swan with your arms on. And now you're going to tag the toes of your back foot, your left, plant your hands, and let's try to return to your three-legged dog. Just again need to push that away a little bit, sorry. Inhale and exhale, lower down. So adjust yourself here, maybe pedal again your feet a bit, and we're going to be going through the same poses on the other side. So come back to your downward dog. Left foot on the center, right foot, sorry, on the center. Inhale, take your left leg up for three-legged dog, open up through the hip. Exhale, bring your left foot between both hands. Come onto a low lunge. Relax your knee, relax your toes, come onto crescent moon. Anjaneyasana, so a bit of a back bend, not too intense. Begin to open up the right hip flexor. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms to the earth, hands to the earth. Walk your left foot, heel toe to the edge of the mat. Both hands come onto the middle. Begin to deepen the lunge. Take your left hand to the left knee. And begin to open up the hip, so you're going to see this a lot better on this side. I'm rocking the foot, as you can see. I'm going to look back if I can. And release. The neck movement is optional, of course. Just try to hold this for a moment. So we should feel a bit of opening through the left hip, right hip flexor, back of the left hip, front of the right hip. So from here, let's just take both hands again. You might need to bring your foot a bit flatter. You can still keep it in a bit of rotation. We're going to try to come low onto our forearms, maybe one, maybe both, maybe none. So we're coming into lizard pose or dragon pose and just hold it here. So just beginning to go a little bit deeper. So again, remember about your breath as your guide. If you start feeling short of air, you can deepen the breath. You need to back off the pose. Try to stay present, whether you choose to close your eyes or keep them open. If they're open, try to keep a soft gaze. We're going to come back onto our hands for a moment, and I'll give you again options for the next progression if you want to. Otherwise, you can always come back to where we were. So I'll start from here actually. You can bend your right knee now and then just reach with your left hand behind and try to grab the foot from the outside. This is option 1. Otherwise, you could come down into the forearm, right forearm, keep it horizontal, so you're a bit lower, and then you can try the same. You could start up on your hand and then perhaps in a few seconds come down. I'm gonna stay here because this feels good for me, but again, just listen to your body. And you're gonna start maybe playing with the bending. So maybe push a bit into a deeper bend and then release. Just try to feel that. And then see if you can hold then a static that position. Whether it's a bit more intense or less intense, that's up to you. It's a stronger stretch in any case, so this should be feeling as strong. Unless obviously if you're very, very flexible, very open, you might not find this too hard, but for the average population, this is a stronger stretch. 2 more breaths. Okay, slowly begin to release your leg, come back onto your hands if you were down on the forearm. And now let's just begin to heel toe your left foot to the right end of the mat. Drop the left knee. So we come onto pigeon or swan, which is the name in yin. You can use again a bit of prop, a cushion or a bolster. I'm gonna start like this again. So we're still again opening the left hip, back of the left hip, front of the right hip, but this is gonna feel strong on the left hip. Okay, so again, to make it easier, you can bring your left foot closer to the right hip, so right and horizontal is a bit more bent. And as I start again, propped up here, feel the difference on one side or the other, whether you feel more the glutes or the hip flexors, maybe the other side you were feeling, not necessarily more the glutes, maybe it was the front of the hip. It's just good to know. Keep your back long, shoulders away from the ears. And then of course, at any point, if you wish to remove the support, you can. And I'm gonna try, it doesn't, I'm not looking as I said earlier, the best today because I'm stiff, but I like it, so it feels good on my body to challenge this stretch. All right, if you want to progress this, let's try to come into sleeping pigeon. Fold your forearms. Again, use maybe a bit of support for your forehead if that's better for you, if you're still, a bit tight here. Eventually, or if you don't want it, you can just do it without. And again, once you're here, if you're closing your eyes, stay present. Don't let your mind wander. And if it wanders, that's okay. Don't be judgmental on yourself. Just bring your awareness back. Keep your breath nice and steady. 2 more inhales, 2 more exhales. Slowly begin to come back. And now let's just adjust ourselves for cow face or shoelace pose. So Just moving back, keeping the knee again out the thigh, along the mat. I'm going to take now the right leg on top. I'm going to try to bring one knee directly on top of the other. And again, this is again a good place to sit onto something. If you find this, it's a little bit uncomfortable. Your knees might not be completely connected, and that's okay. And again, to make it harder, you can bring your shins more horizontal, otherwise bring the heels closer to you. Just need to adjust myself here, trying to get to my best position, my best alignment. Need to bend a bit this one. So give yourself a bit of time, yeah? And then start just again feeling your hips, again sit bones, lengthen the spine, inhale both arms up. Exhale, just simply bring your fingertips on front, maybe a small forward lean, but your back is fairly straight. Again, don't slouch. If you lose the shape of the spine, that means you need to back off the pose a bit. I prefer if you're straighter. And then of course you're gonna start coming a little bit lower. We're not gonna go all the way down yet. I'll give you, the option. Should be feeling a lot more the top hip now, the right side. Might still feel the left, of course. But compared, to pigeon, now you're stretching the other hip. And then maybe come all the way down. Maybe fall completely forward. Maybe not yet, just showing you all options so you can work on your body on each side, which again might be different. The right is never the same to the left. And it can also change from day to day. So you might be particularly tighter on one side of the body, but maybe you got the odd day where it's not the case. The other side is tighter for some reason, and again, that's all normal. It's good to have our awareness so we know where it's tighter, where it's looser, so we can work through those restrictions. Take 2 more breaths. Just slowly begin to come back up. Take the arms up, inhale. Exhale, release the arms down. Let's just make our way back to pigeon with your left leg at the front. So let's just adjust ourselves. Tuck the toes of your right foot, hands planted on the ground. Return to a 3-legged dog. Drop your left leg down, adjust yourself on the dog. Walk again a couple of times, bring a bit of blood back to the legs, the hips, the knees, the ankles. And then stay again on the dog. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, from here, you're gonna come to knees down and maybe bring your hands a bit further forward. Let's bring the hips forward to a cobra. We're gonna take the legs a bit wider. This is called seal pose in yin. So it's a slightly different to cobra. Stay active. We're not gonna hold for too long, because this again gives you a bit of a back bend, and your arms need to be firm to support you. So maybe move your neck a bit side to side. Maybe drop your chin down. Feel the stretch at the back of the neck and back up. Perhaps keep your chin down and then try to shrug the shoulders and relax them. And then maybe just bring your gaze back forward. One more breath. Okay, stay strong through the core. Bring your feet to touch, knees open, child's pose, balasana. One breath. And let's slowly release from child's pose. And then coming into sitting. And we're going to take your feet to the right hand side of the mat. Bring the hips to the left. And then we're going to lie ourselves down carefully. And I want you to think of bringing your shoulders, the right shoulder, to the right side of the mat. So you're going to be making a bit like a banana shape. So careful as you get there. Try to keep both shoulders down, and you can fold, maybe you can hand to opposite elbow. And we're gonna stay here. So when you think of breathing onto the left side of the body, the side that we got more open, try to keep both hips rounded, both shoulders rounded, so you're not twisting too much to the right. You're side bending to the right, but I don't want you to think of twisting, if that makes sense. And you can experiment a bit with your feet. You can cross left over right. Hold it, keep breathing. Feel the restriction on the waist, the ribs, the shoulder, whether it's stronger on one area or the other. For me, it's definitely stronger on the lower part, you know, the waist, the lower back on that side. Change the cross of the forearms, which will make you feel the stretch is slightly different. And maybe change the cross of the feet as well. See what works best for you, what gives you a deeper stretch. Continue being present, even if your eyes closed. Keep a steady breath. Take both feet back down, one next to the other. A few more breaths here. And then slowly release. Let's just try to go to the other side from here. So bring the feet to the left. Try to shimmy your hips to the right. And then once you're there, roll to your side, come up. Let's do it properly. So, apologies. So bring the feet to the left, hips to the right, and then slowly help yourself to lie down, bringing the shoulders to the left. You might need to adjust yourself a bit, but think of, again, that nice banana shape. It'll probably feel different. Arms again above the head. Try not to twist completely, so open, and then start breathing onto the right side of the body. The right lung, the ribs, the shoulder, the waist. Just feel how different it is, yeah? Is this tighter, is this looser? And then we can add again those different positions on the legs. Cross the right over the left. See how that feels, makes it easier, makes it stronger. Of course, you can always back off, you know, if the cross doesn't feel right. Maybe change the cross of the arms once more, which again makes it a little bit, feels a bit different whenever you do the side that is less natural. And maybe change the cross of the feet as well. Continue breathing steadily. Maybe bring your feet back to normal, one next to the other. One more breath. Then let's slowly come to center with everything. Bend your knees slowly, one at a time. Like a strong hug. You can hand to opposite elbow if you can, otherwise just hand over each forearm. Or maybe just hand over the shins if you're very stiff. Open the hips a little bit. Let's try to go into happy baby briefly. If you have good mobility, middle and index finger or your peace fingers, grab the big toes. Otherwise you can just grab more the calf or maybe the thigh. You want to open up a bit the hips and then just find a bit of movement. It's nice for the hips, for the base of the lower back. You can also pause that rocking motion and then perhaps extend the one leg as you inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, perhaps extend the other leg now. Exhale, fold. Perhaps extend both. Inhale. Exhale, fold. So for more inner thigh stretch, maybe again come back to a bit of rocking motion side to side. Let's take the knees back to one over the other. Quick hug. And then as exhale, we're going to finish settling into Savasana. Extend the legs, let them fall slightly open. Arms out, have a bit of a space for the armpits. Palms facing up, close your eyes. Make sure you're warm, make sure your neck is comfortable if you need a bit of support. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, let it go. Close your lips, return to your natural rhythm of your breath, which should be hopefully slower than when we started. And let's just try to focus on how our body feels, how our mind feels. We're going to try to relax from the toes all the way up to the hips. So relax your toes, your heels, your feet. Relax your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips. Maybe adjust your hips a little bit if you need to. Relax your back body. So the spine, back of the hips, lower back, shoulders, mid back, upper back. Relax the front body, lower tummy, stomach area, ribs, chest, front of the shoulders. Relax your fingers, your hands, your wrists, forearms, elbows, and upper arms. Let them sink heavy into the ground. Relax your collarbones, your neck, your throat, your jaw. Allow the mouth to fall slightly open. Relax the tongue at the back of the mouth. And relax your face, the nose, cheekbones, eyes, eyebrows, forehead. And lastly, relax your head. Make sure your neck feels comfortable. Maybe adjust your neck position. And then continue breathing here, enjoying your Savasana. Feel your breathing nice and steady. Feel your body sinking further and further. But stay present. You're welcome to stay in Savasana for as long as you wish. Otherwise, to get out of Savasana, we need to find a bit of movement. So slowly begin to wriggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists, your feet, maybe a couple of times each direction. And then extend the arms and the legs as if you were stretching in the morning. Continue with your eyes closed. Bend your knees. Support the back of your head with your underneath arm as you roll onto one side. Stay here for another breath, eyes still closed. Very slowly, use your top hand to help you up. You're going to start opening your eyes softly. Come into the position we did at the beginning. Can be again here. Again, Sukhasana, easy pose, or one leg crossed over the other. You can again be sitting into something. Come back even with hands, palms facing up. Close your eyes once more, or soft gaze in front of you. Feel the changes on your posture, on your body, on your breath, and on your mind. And try to set an intention for the rest of your day, the rest of your week. Be grateful to yourself for making time to practice today, for making time on your body, on yourself, on your breath. Take a deep breath in again through the nose. Hold it at the top. Lift your chest, lift your heart. Exhale, let go through your mouth once more. Open your eyes slowly if you still have them closed. Let's just bring the hands to Namaste, prayer position. Fingers connecting, but there's a space in between each finger. Thumbs at the base of the sternum on your heart center, elbows out. As always, to finish, as you go forward, may you have peace on your thoughts, peace on your words, peace on your heart. From my heart to yours, Namaste. Gentle bow of your head. And gently release. Thank you so much for joining today, for watching this the end of the class. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you soon in one of my other videos. Bye bye.